Hey guys, so if you're anything like me, every single day, literally every single day after school, I take a nap. And today is like no other. My plan was, I was gonna come home from school, come up to my room, sleep, and then wake up at some point during the middle of the night, and then get up and film a video about no-kill rules, because that's what I wanted to talk about this week. So anyway, before, I for real like doze off and go to sleep, I'm just like scrolling Instagram as any normal person would, and I'm going through reels. And I didn't save the reel, but if I can go back, because I just saw it, and look, I'll put it on screen. It was basically comparing this apparent scene from The Boys, where it was Starlight, Stormfront, and I don't know, I haven't watched up to this point, but it was comparing this scene from The Boys, where basically, I don't know, there's a character, and they're like, oh, you in what army, or something, and then Starlight's like, this army, or she's like, I got my girls, and then, or, it's like the girls get it done thing, I don't know. And the video was comparing that scene from The Boys to that one scene from Marvel Endgame that we all know about. And everyone in the comments was, just talking and just having an overall discussion about how silly and how funny the scene is, and how we've been making fun of it forever. And I've kept my mouth shut about this for a while, but it actually really bothers me how overly hated on that scene is. So yeah, let's get into it. So first off, I'm just gonna put this out there that I also do not like the scene. I think that if they wanted to, obviously have a girl power moment, it could have been done in a much more, understandable, acceptable way that would have made sense and worked with the flow of the story. Because, the context of this scene here is obviously Spider-Man has, the gauntlet or whatever, and Captain Marvel comes to get it from him, and she's like, don't worry, I'll take it from here. And he's like, oh, how are you gonna do it, or whatever, I don't even remember what he says. But, she takes the gauntlet, all the female superheroes appear behind Captain Marvel, and they're like, she's got us. And obviously, the reason that most people make fun of that scene is, one, it's Captain Marvel. So, out of every single character you could have chose to, need backup, I feel like Captain Marvel was not the perfect choice because she's literally the strongest here. She's already been, putting belt to ass on Thanos. She could have definitely done this on her own. She didn't really need backup. And then, obviously, there's just plot inconsistencies because all of the characters appear out of nowhere. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. The scene is stupid. But, obviously the point of the scene was just to, come together and be like, oh, yeah, girl power moment. And so, obviously, everyone's been clowning on it and just, frying the scene for how stupid and how it doesn't make sense and how it's really trying to, push the, girl power thing here in this scene. But let me offer you a second opinion on why I don't actually really hate that scene. Not only do I not hate it, of course it's funny because it doesn't make sense, but I genuinely feel like Endgame's been out for 6 years now. I think we need to let it go. I don't know if Infinity War came out in 2019. I don't remember which one came out in 2019 and which one came out after. Whatever year Endgame came out, it's been years since then. And I just think we need to let it go because the scene truly was not that bad. And I think you need to look at it from a different lens. So, your good pal, Bizarro pal. Oh wait, that's kind of redundant. Your good pal, your Bizarro pal is here to kind of give you a different opinion on this scene. So being fans of superhero media and whatnot, we kind of try and gas up this hobby a little bit as in it's mature. And that's true, but you have to keep in mind that at the end of the day, superheroes were created for children. Comics and superhero movies and all of these characters and whatever were created with the idea of children in mind from, the starting point. And while that's not completely true that it's just for kids to this day, obviously, because there's mature comics, there's DC Black Label, there's Deadpool, Wolverine, this and that, Punisher. It still stems from the idea that kids and children will be participating in this media. And you know what 50% of the child population of the world is? They're girls. So they also wanted to see Endgame. These little kids, these little girls also wanted to see Endgame. They also went with their families to see Endgame. Maybe they've just been keeping up with the MCU with their entire family, or maybe, they just like the MCU and they've been keeping up with whatever character they like. And let's be completely for real. Throughout the MCU, man, we've just seen the female characters have been doing some bullshit sometimes, okay? We already know that Black Widow is just straight up not a character in the MCU. She's basically just, seductive assassin that, she can just do anything, but we're not really going to explain how, and we're not really going to explain anything about her backstory, and we're not really going to talk about her at all. She's just an accessory. She's the hot girl of the group. And then, just a lot of these girl characters being over-sexualized, just done in ways that didn't really make sense for the character. The MCU has done some bad character work with some of its female characters, right? So we get to Endgame, and imagine a little girl watching Endgame. Imagine, not you guys, imagine how that little girl felt watching Endgame and nearing to the end of the movie and seeing all of those female characters that maybe she really likes. Maybe she's a huge fan of some of those female characters. Maybe Captain Marvel's her favorite superhero at this point. Imagine she watches that scene and she felt uplifted and she saw herself reflected in those superheroes, just the way that all the little boys are able to see themselves reflected in Spider-Man whenever he does something crazy and super strong, you know? Or Iron Man when he's being like the cocky guy he is, or Captain America when he's just being the symbol of hope. Little boys were able to feel that feeling for years in superhero films. Maybe little girls could also feel that feeling, but it's an entirely different thing when you're seeing kind of like a reflection of yourself. Because, of course, myself, I look at Spider-Man and I feel uplifted. I look at Man and Batman, I feel uplifted. But on the other hand, if I was like, I don't know, like 5 years old, 7 years old, it would be important to me that reading these comics and watching these movies, I could see Supergirl doing something that would make me feel like I could also do something to that caliber, that would make me feel important, make me feel strong, whatever emotion that superhero is supposed to invoke. So, do I think the scene was stupid? It didn't make sense. It was logically inconsistent? Yes. Do I think that scene was specifically an isolated scene that's not really meant to make sense and is meant for kids and more so meant for little girls to look at that scene and feel an emotional impact watching that scene? Also yes. I feel like we're just like too critical of everything. Endgame is a superhero movie, it's for kids. Like, I'm not saying we can't critique things, obviously, but I feel like you should be able to discern that specific scene isn't really supposed to just be in tandem with the rest of the movie. That scene was just like one little thing to just give the girls their flowers. And if that scene genuinely bothered you so much that to this day in our year 2026, you're still talking about how annoying and stupid and useless that scene was, I feel like maybe you need to pick up some more hobbies. Yeah? Because I'm filming a YouTube video and you're loud. I wasn't saying you were being loud already. I was closing it in anticipation for you being loud. Now he's taking a shower, great. Anyway, we've had like a trillion MCU movies by now, and let's be honest, every superhero has done something that doesn't make sense just for aura and hype points, and y'all can't handle one MCU mainline popular blockbuster movie where the girls get their aura and hype moments, man. Y'all couldn't let one slide even if it was a little cringe. Like, even now at my big age, I read superhero comics and I kind of feel a little giddy when Supergirl does something like really awesome or like fights someone that's like way bigger, way stronger than her and kind of shows that she's still resilient or something like that. Because regardless, at the end of the day, stupid superhero moments are still gonna be like nice and campy, and you're still gonna like them even if in your mind you're internally thinking like, wow, that was cringe. So who knows, maybe if you're a guy or maybe if you're just not specifically the demographic, you couldn't expressly feel the emotions that scene was supposed to convey, but at least maybe my thoughts on this will give you the capacity to understand the emotions that scene could have evoked in somebody else and the purpose of it. Anyway guys, a little short video for today. And I don't know if I mentioned the no kill room video. I'm still doing that. That'll be next week though, because I kind of wanted to do this topic more. Thank you guys for almost 3K subscribers. I love you guys so much. And hold on, forgot to plug. Follow my TikTok and follow my Instagram. Thanks. All right, I'll see you guys next time. What? You talking to me? Yeah. Oh no, I'm watching something. Okay.